So you've made the decision to buy a franchise? Good for you. But which one is going to suit your needs and give you the best chance of success? Hi, I'm Ep18, and today on The Franchise Show, we're asking the question, which franchise is right for you? There are so many things to consider when you're looking at which franchise model will best suit you. Now, it's crucial to get it right because you'll be running the business for around 5 to 10 years. Brad caught up with a Donut King franchise partner in Sydney who said his key considerations in choosing a franchise were budget, location, and what would be best for his family.
When investing in franchise, it's important to pick the right model. So how do you know which one's right for you? Eric, thanks so much for joining me today.
No worries,
it's quite an interesting story to share.
Yes.
Tell me, why is it that you got into franchising?
I was thinking I got to find a better place for my wife, for my son, and for myself. That's why I came back to Australia around 2006. In the first 2 years, I worked in the local franchise to learn how to make coffee, to learn how to run a business, because personally, I really like coffee.
So why did you choose Donut King?
I hear some very good reputation from friends about Donut King. Why not I can try it? And I start contact with the head office. They send someone to interview me, and they just give me a training for 5 weeks because before I took over the shop, and I'm been here for 7 years already. Yeah.
7 years.
7 years. I did do my research as well. I tried so many ones, but finally I choose Donut King just because of the budget, because of the size, because they're training there.
So what type of training did you do with Donut King?
They told me how to run the business. For example, how to do the coffee, how to make a donut. Of course, for Donut King, you have to know how to make a donut nicely and freshly.
And so what are the benefits you're finding of being part of a brand like Donut King?
The first thing I would say, they got a strong supplier chain. You don't need to worry about the suppliers. Fresh for us is very important part. Quality, service, fresh. That's what people need. Otherwise, they won't come back again.
Talk me through how you keep your customers loyal.
Most of the customers, they are not just like customers. For me, they will say hi, hi, Eric. They will share things to me every day. And sometimes if they get something said, just like a family. And they'll keep bringing customers coming back. So I barely hear complaint from customers.
Thank you so much for your time today.
No worries about it. Thank you.
With over 1,000 franchise brands to choose from, it can be hard narrowing down the business opportunity that's right for you. Of course, part of the decision does come down to which franchise you can afford to buy into. But it's also important that you are genuinely passionate about the product or service on offer. You'll be expected to toe the franchisor's line on things like products, pricing, uniforms, and even signage. And this can quickly become a grind if you're not truly committed to the brand. A key step is to look beyond the lifestyle the franchise offers, like the ability to work outdoors, and consider the earnings potential of the business. It's important to get both right. Now, by law, franchisors cannot make specific statements about how much you will earn. However, they can provide you with an indicative earnings range. You need to ask yourself whether the earnings potential is sufficient for your needs. There's not much point investing in a business that could leave you struggling financially. We've got more expert advice and franchise stories coming right up. Stay tuned. You're watching The Franchise Show. Now, choosing the right business model for you isn't just about meeting your budget goals or finding something you're passionate about. As we found out from franchise expert Elizabeth Gilliam, it's important to make sure your franchise model will allow you to achieve your lifestyle goals too.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Gilliam, founder of Franchisee Success, and today we're going to talk about finding the right franchise for you. There's 3 tips that you really must follow through, and the first one is about you, whether you are right to be a franchise, but more importantly, what are you expecting from this franchise business? What is your why? Why do you want to buy a franchise? What are your goals and passions? And make sure that the franchise system you're buying matches those goals, aspirations and passions. The second part is find the right franchisor. So find a franchisor that matches your goals, your values and visions, and make sure that their system and what they're selling will match your original why as to why you wanted to buy that franchise system. Then the final part of all that is actually get the right business case scenario, because you can be right for franchising, the franchisor can be the best franchisor in the world, but still the business case that you're buying may not work for a multitude of reasons. So really research the business opportunity you're about to buy into. When I get people who are looking for a franchise, the very first thing I get them to do is write down their why, to outline what it is they want. That then gives us a parameter to start looking at different franchise systems. You've got over 1,160 franchise systems in Australia, so surely there's one there for you. We just have to find the right one for you. I get people to prepare a resume, actually, as to what are their skills and abilities, what are their passions, and from that, hand that off to the franchisor. That way you'll find the franchisor will see whether you're a fit for their brand, but ultimately you'll see whether they are a fit for you and the lifestyle that you're after. Be bold. State that amount that you want clearly out of your business to live the lifestyle that you want. And once you've done that, if you get that pairing perfect right from the get-go, your life as a franchisee will be very successful and you'll grow in that brand because you know what you're after, the franchisor knows what you're after, and then it's like creating a marriage, really, isn't it? Just because you're buying a franchise does not mean you are buying a successful business. It's buyer beware, and you need to seek legal advice, you need to seek accounting advice, but more importantly, you need to seek advice from someone like myself who knows franchising inside, outside, upside down, and can give you the right advice about the system you're buying into.
Hi, my name's Kane Thomas, and I'm a new franchisee for Crust Gourmet Pizza Bar in Dapto. It's something I've been dreaming of for probably about 10 years now. Crust is a brand that I'd sort of admired from about 2009. I think they opened the Cronulla store, which was where I was living, and I got it for the first time. And once I tried it, I was just like, yeah, that's what I want. And the more I delved into it, the more I researched, and then I found Dapto was available and thought, you know what, I think I can give it a go. It was just a matter of gradually chipping away and getting into a position where I could financially make it happen, and that came last year. It is a little bit more exciting starting from scratch too. It's your baby, it's not someone else's. Obviously you have people in your ear saying, oh, it's much cheaper, do it yourself. And when I really looked down to it and went creating menu, finding suppliers, finding stock, what the menu's going to be, what I'm going to price it at, how I'm going to market, what my branding, what my image is going to be. There's just so much work there and so much unknown. And also that you've got to build your brand in your local area, and you have to convince people to try something new, whereas with a franchise, and especially a strong brand like Crust, and it's been established for so long, so many people are familiar with the brand already, so you've sort of half the battle's already done. The training program is 4 weeks at the academy up here at Southport. The group of us thought we were starting to get the hang of it and thought, you know, this is going to be pretty easy. Next thing you know, we turn up into the store on Friday night, we get there at 5 o'clock, a few orders start slowly trickling through. We're like, okay, I can get this. This isn't too bad. Next thing you know, there's dockets piled up from left to right on top of each other. There's people out the front waiting. The phone's ringing. There's, what's this order? This one's late. And the enormity of the challenge just sort of struck us that, wow, you know, we have still got a long way to go. I think I actually drove home that night and my wife was still in New South Wales, and so it was probably about 10:30 then. She was asleep. I woke her up and I said, wow, I just got my butt kicked by a pizza. I never thought that would happen. Probably the biggest goal out of it is to get the business up to a point where I can take my wife out of her job and she can sort of come and help with the business, but also spend some time with the family and not feel that pressure to have to travel into the city every day just to survive, really. So I think that strength of a tried and proven model would trump an upstart every day of the week, for me at least.
Keep up to date with all the latest on The Franchise Show. Follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn. Just search The Franchise Show.
Stay with us. We talk to more industry experts and experienced franchisees. You're watching The Franchise Show. Welcome back to the Franchise Show. Now, choosing the right business model for you involves a lot of hard work, research, and even soul-searching to make sure you make the right decision. Up next, we hear from some franchisees who made the leap and couldn't be happier with their decision.
Hello, I'm Gary Jones.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Jones.
We're the franchisees for Beaumont Tiles in Canberra, with stores in Mitchell and in Fyshwick. I've been in the tile industry for 40 years, firstly working for a large multi-state company and eventually buying that particular company and running it ourselves. And when the time came to decide whether we were going to continue on our own or become a franchise for someone, knowing the Beaumont family themselves, we knew that it was the choice to make.
We're very lucky we have managers in both stores. In the Mitchell showroom, our son Hugh, he runs that one. And then in Fyshwick, we run that one and we have a manager, Marisa. The Beaumonts is a family and we work as a total group. Everybody looks after everybody else. Doesn't matter which store it is.
Absolutely.
And we actually send staff from one store to the other store, so then they all work together.
I really love the idea of collaboration with franchisees. And, you know, it goes further than just collaboration. We are one unit.
Knowing what's available in the market and having done research, there's absolutely no doubt the range that Beaumont's offer is better than anything else that's available, from stone through to tiles, through to bathroomware, tapware.
A franchise that is part of a huge group is a saleable commodity, and that's what it's all about. So you have to look to the future, and there's nothing that they can't help you with.
I think one of our franchisees is usually looking for an objective in life, something to better themselves, something to really launch themselves into the next level. They're prepared to work really, really hard and prepared to use their own initiative as well as using the system.
We knew that in purchasing a franchise, we would be starting to build an asset. The ability to release the capital which we had tied up in stock allowed us to change the focus of our business from renting a building to buying the building. And it allows us to build up the equity in, one, the building, and two, the business, which you cannot do in your own standalone business. The systems the National Support Office give us allow us to run the business properly with guidelines and assistance, something you can't get on your own.
One fantastic thing that we do for our franchisees is that we offer a great leadership course. So they fly in to our head office quite a few times during a year, and they receive a couple of days really intensive leadership training. Leadership is really where I think the franchisees can get a tremendous amount of benefit.
They go down once a month and they learn. They learn to become good managers. So even if you don't know anything about tiles or bathroomware, you'll learn fast.
And I'll guarantee you that it's unlikely you'll find anyone that can offer what Beaumont Tiles offer. We did our research. We've had conversations with people who are experts in the franchising area who stated they believe that the model that Beaumont's offer is the best they've seen, the most equitable they've seen, and the one probably the easiest to get into, be taught, and run properly.
It's a good feeling to come to work, and everybody has a good feeling to come to work because it's a nice place. You know, they care for their staff, the rosters are always in place.
We have absolutely no doubt that we've made the best decision. We've got a building to prove it, and we've had a few trips overseas which are paid for by the efforts that we make. And we love the company in terms of the way it treats us. We love the way that they communicate with us. There's no them and us. It's a team, and it's a genuine team.
It's totally changed our lives because we both work in it. It's given us a life, and now we're getting a building, you know, and our future is getting more and more secure. So, and we are looking to the future that Gary and I will be able to take off and know that our business is still going to be going, because having a manager in place, know that you trust them, and then that will be okay. If you're thinking about getting into a franchise, I really say do it, because you will never regret it.
When you're making a decision to select your franchise, it's really important that you make sure that that franchise represents your values. It's probably one of the most important things, because ultimately you've got to put your heart and soul into that business, and you need to be able to reflect that when you are managing your employees and also when you're dealing with your consumer. But on top of that, you really need to look at, does the model suit you? So what's your experience level like? How much support are you going to receive from the franchisor? Have you managed employees before? Will they be assisting you in understanding understanding the Fair Work Act, what memberships do you get when you become part of their franchise, and really, is it going to suit, I guess, your skill set, or are they going to allow you to develop your skills in that area so that you can be successful? When you start looking for a new franchise or you begin your research, it's really important that you go and have a look at as many face-to-face franchises as you can. Go and sit in the store anonymously, look around, see how employees interact with their managers, see what kind of signage they've got, look at kind of what the values of that particular business is and get a feel for them. Ultimately, what you need to do is just make sure you expose yourself to as many as possible so you select the right one for you.
Up next, we talk to a business advisor about balancing franchising and family. Stay tuned. You're watching The Franchise Show. Starting your own business is a big decision for you and your family. Now, you might gain the flexibility to take little Johnny to all his football games, but what happens when you're in the middle of a peak period and you get the call that your child is sick? Up next, our resident business advisor, Bruce Sullivan, shares his advice for handling family life and franchising life.
If you're considering starting a business and starting a family at the same time, I think it's really important to remember that you're going to have 2 babies. And 2 babies are going to require you 24/7, and it's going to be a massive commitment. So you'd certainly want to be prepared if you were going to go down that path. I think the best advice for families that want to start a business is to do the work. If you think about having a baby, you would have been at every neonatal class, you've been on the internet, you're talking to your friends, you're really doing a whole lot of research to make sure that when your actual baby arrives, that you are so well prepared. I think it's just as important to do that preparation in terms of starting a business. So it's going to be like another baby. Do the same level of research, do the intense research, ask people, talk to people, and I think when you're talking to people, it's really important to ask the hard questions. What was the dream when you started? What was the reality 6 months in, 12 months in, and how did you manage that, particularly if you had a young family? And again, the benefit of being in a franchise network is that you can talk to people that have already been down that path. And I think the other thing to do is test your support networks. Mum said, look, I'll look after the child while you go and do the work and chase your dream in the business, or Dad said I can do that, or a friend or a sibling said, yeah, no, we can support you. Test that out. I think once you have established a business and you've got some children that are a little bit older, there's a couple of opportunities. One is that they'll learn to deal with chaos incredibly well, that they won't be in a normal family, so to speak, and they'll be involved somehow in the business. It's amazing what jobs a 5- and a 6-year-old can do to help out in a franchise or in a small business. And obviously, as they get older, they're going to learn skills that other people will not learn. I think children that grow up in business families learn different things and better things about life and about work. I think if you've got young children and a business, it's going to be inevitable that there's going to be tension. The demands of all of those things on your life, personally and professionally, is really significant. And I would encourage people to be careful about making that decision, because there'll be tension at home and there'll be tension at work, and there's no real line. If you're stressed out at home with young family, then that's going to make its way to work, and that could distract you from being the best business that you can be. It may distract you from concentrating on customers and doing what you can to attract and motivate really good staff.
Researching which franchise to buy can be a very daunting experience, especially with franchising now available in so many industries. Of course, there are the big industries, retail, accommodation and food, which account for a good 400 of franchise brands alone. Then there are smaller, specialised industries with everything from gas, water and waste services, manufacturing, healthcare, transport, postal services, sciences and even arts and recreation. So how do you choose? Well, along with doing extensive research, it's best to choose a brand or business that you're passionate about. You know the old saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
So Chris, tell us about Soul Origin.
As you can see, this is Soul Origin. We're one of the youngest QSR brands in the market and one of the fastest growing at the same time. And today we opened our 61st store.
A lot of people know about us, you know. In the very beginning, so because I was the first franchisee, maybe the first 10 stores that we had, when I say Soul Origin, a lot of people didn't know about us. Now I say Soul Origin, pretty much everyone knows about us. They know what kind of sandwiches we sell, salads we sell, our coffee is great.
Soul Origin's culture, how would you describe it?
Vibrant, lively, mindful, and enthusiastic. The main reasons why I choose Soul Origin is because of the people. And you're always influenced by the people around you, and so you choose your people wisely.
We're like a little family. I always take pride in this. Everybody helps each other. The head office is not just a franchisor.
Being able to develop the business skills and mindsets of your people, what is the ultimate goal for your franchise partners?
Better lifestyle. And when we say by better lifestyle, helping their staff, helping their family, giving them time to enjoy their lives, but also to give them something that they're going to enjoy being part of and building every day. We believe we have given them the tools and the economic model that can lead them to success. It's up to the individual to grab those tools and really drive their business and grow their business.
Thanks for joining us today and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week on The Franchise Show.